Secret meeting at the end of this video. Be there or be square. You hear it all the time. Everyone just says start a side hustle, make some extra money. That is the answer to all your financial problems. I mean, let's be honest, even here on this channel, that's what we talk about all the time. And I am the first person to admit, I am a recovering side hustler. I've been side hustling since I was probably like 10 or 11 years old, picking up odd jobs wherever I could, trying to find a way to make a couple extra bucks. And I am still doing the exact same thing. And I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't create a side hustle, but what I am going to tell you is that you need to think really seriously before deciding if it's the right thing for you, because it is a rabbit hole. And once you go down the rabbit hole, you are going to be spending a lot of time and possibly money for nothing. So let's get into it. First off, we need to talk about the costs of side hustling. The reality is there is cost that goes into a side hustle. And probably the biggest thing that it's going to cost you is your time. And let's be honest, not just that, there's equipment that goes into a lot of side hustles. Whether you're starting a car washing business or even a car detailing business, maybe you're doing power washing, maybe you're mowing lawns, maybe you're doing YouTube like me. Like, there's costs that go into this. And not only that, like, not just the cost of whatever equipment it takes you to get into it, you may be interested in trying to learn more about whatever it is you're trying to do. And there are plenty of people out there who will sell you on their way to do whatever it is that you want to do. I mean, come on, it's all over social media these days. There are gurus telling you how to make money 1,000 different ways. And yes, some of them are totally legit, but some of their education that you are going to pay a pretty penny for may not be worth it. It really just depends. Now, let's go back to time. What is the time commitment here? I mean, people like me, people like you, we most likely have jobs already. We're probably already working, and that's why we need something on the side. We're looking for something to fill our nights, our early mornings, and our weekends, right? Well, preferably not, but that's the time that it's going to take. And honestly, you may do something for weeks, months, maybe even years without seeing much of a result. I mean, take this channel for example. We've been on YouTube now, I think, for coming up on 2 years in June, and I just released a video talking about how much we've made in total. And let's just say if we broke it down by hour, it would be very, very little money. But it's important to remember the time that you're taking away from yourself, your family, and other things that you could be doing to make better use of your time. I think one of the biggest traps people fall into is the idea of passive income. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of ways that you can make money passively online, but it takes a long time to get there, typically speaking. So on this channel, I'll use it as an example again. We make passive income on this channel because even when I'm sleeping, people like you are still watching this video. I mean, I may be in my bed right now. You get what I'm talking about. You may make some money on the side, but it's going to take tons and tons of time and effort and investment for you to get there. Let's talk about burnout. With all this time you're probably going to be spending on a side hustle, it is so easy to get burned out on whatever it is you're doing. I mean, you go to work 8, maybe more hours per day, come home, spend another 4 or 5 until you go to bed trying to make something work. And most likely investing that time and money for something that may not ever happen. Something that we don't often realize is when we're working on the edge of burnout, we are often trying to be hyper productive. We're trying to fill every second of our time doing something that matters. I do that all the time. There's a lot of ways to get around that, but the reality is the more tired and overworked you are, the more stress you're going to have, which means you're going to be less productive, not only in your side hustle though, but also productive in family matters and productive at actual work. It is something to really account for as you go after a side hustle that may only pay you $1 an hour, to realize, is this all worth it? And maybe the answer is yes, but maybe the answer is no. Something that I've tried to do as I've done my side hustles is try and keep my weekends free. I try and do all of my side hustle work during the week so that I can have at least Saturday and Sunday to just sort of decompress a little bit, spend the time with the family, and just have some time to myself as well. It's important to set aside some time out of your days or out of your week so that you don't fall into that place where you are just constantly burning out. It's not a great place to be. You've probably been there before, maybe even without a side hustle. And if you think that spending another 20 hours a week on another project is going to help you with your burnout, you may be wrong. I think it's also important to remember the long term when it comes to side hustles. What's your end goal? Are you trying to make some quick money, or are you trying to build something that actually matters? Because if you're trying to build something that actually matters, you may have to reframe your thinking around your side hustle. And here's why. Side hustles are oftentimes pretty inconsistent from a monetization or monetary standpoint. And if you or your family need an extra $500 a month without fail every single month, or $1,000 or $2,000, it's very unlikely that your side hustle is going to provide that for you every single month, month after month, year after year, even if you grow it to a sizable business. Now, that's not to say that you can't find some sort of security there, but I know that for us, in our experience, we'll have months where we make a couple $1,000s a month, and then we've had months where we make like $30. And so that wide variance makes it a little bit harder to budget for as far as your time goes. You may be working really, really hard one month and just make nothing, and then maybe you'll sit back and make a little bit extra in another month. Now, there's definitely a lot of things on a budget side that I would love to talk about when it comes to side hustle and inconsistent income, but you get the point. You just need to be ready for that. And if you want to build something that's a little more steady and stable, you may have to put more into it. Which again, more time, more stress, more work. Here's the second piece of that. I mentioned earlier that side hustles might cost you money. Well, there's a lot of reasons why a side hustle might cost you money, like the equipment, like we talked about, but not just that, the value of your time. If you really need money, could you not just go get a job for $15 an hour or $20 an hour instead of working on something for so long that might just not happen? And here's the reality. For those of us who are trying to side hustle all the time, we tend to try a lot of different things. And while that's a good thing, because sometimes one thing just might not work, but another might, we're gonna find a lot of those things that don't work and probably a lot fewer of the things that do actually work. And there's cost there. I can't tell you how many side hustles that I've tried where I've dumped a significant amount of money and time into it and just nothing came of it. One particularly that I can remember well is when I tried to do blogging for a while. I actually purchased a blog for thousands of dollars. And not long after that, the blogging industry completely changed. I lost all my website traffic and never really made the money back on that investment. Now, I probably didn't do it the smartest way. I'll be the first to admit that, but it's just something to think about. You know, all of these side hustles, there are loss opportunities, and it is a little bit risky, much more risky than just going and getting a small part-time job. And with so many alluring ideas, especially on social media these days, it is so easy to get stuck in sort of that toxic mindset of overproductivity. I know something that I struggle with is just having a hobby. I always feel like if I'm going to do something that I enjoy, I should find a way to monetize it. I should always try and make a way for it to be a side hustle. And while making money and finance is one of my favorite things in the entire world, it is good from a mental standpoint to just do something totally disconnected from that. Because once you're trying to make money, there's pressure involved. Once you turn it into a business, there's pressure involved. And that's not always the best thing when it comes to having a hobby to bring peace and a calm mindset into your life. So who should start a side hustle? All right, you caught me. We are a side hustle YouTube channel. We talk about side hustles. Yes, there are some definite downsides to doing side hustles, but if you are still watching this video, you know that you are a true side hustler, just like I am. So you need to like, subscribe, follow this channel, because we're gonna be talking about all these different ways that you can make money, better use your money, and side hustle is a part of that. For those of you who aren't side hustlers, if you made it this far, I guess you're listening to the secret message for nothing. You can subscribe too. We're not going to kick you out. You can be part of the club too. Hope this video has been helpful. Thanks for watching. Nathan from Money Bros signing off.